Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Proline. It is Wednesday, the longest-running sports handicapping show in America. I'm John Cranton, direct from Las Vegas. Got some NFL news in week 2 of the preseason to go over. First, Dave Cokin had a nice 2-0 sweep in the NFL over the weekend. The Jets and the Raiders. Jim Feist also went 2-0 with his NFL steamroller releases. The Vikings and the Rams. He's got another NFL steamroller available. He also had his lone NFL top play, an inner circle release. That was the Cleveland Browns. That cash and more winners are available this weekend. All right, let's get into some NFL Week 2 preseason news. We're going to take a look at the Ravens-Dolphins matchup on Thursday, but let's start off with some interesting news out of Vegas, and that is, where is the money going on who is going to win the Super Bowl? Well, as far as the bettors are concerned, they are big on the Oakland Raiders, the young up-and-coming team that surprised everybody last season. The Raiders for this year opened up 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. Now it's down to 6-1 here in Vegas. A lot of money, fans coming in on that to win the Super Bowl. It's easy to see why they're a fan favorite because of that prolific offense, all the offensive talent they have. Derek Carr has blossomed into a terrific quarterback. With that said, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year for a lot of reasons. Number one, they won a lot of close games last season. And number two, the defense was not good at all. It was a bottom 10 defense. They did allow a lot of points, and they had an easy schedule in games. And the thing is, they've tried to upgrade the defense for this season in the draft. They got a ton of young players coming in. Well, that's still a huge question mark because you just don't know how these young players are going to perform. They might be mediocre. They might be bad. They might not absorb the defensive playbook that quickly. I mean, there's just way too many question marks to tell whether the Raiders are going to take a significant step up on defense, and teams don't win the Super Bowl without playing good to great defense. So I can understand why the public is on it. And also keep in mind, the Raiders are on the West Coast. They're moving to Vegas in a couple of years. So you got West Coast fans who are enamored. That's their team more so than other teams. And so then when they're in Vegas or when they take a quick drive to Vegas, either from LA or from the Oakland area dropping in, they'll see their team on the board. Hey, I'll take a shot with my team at 10-1 or now 6-1. So it's more of a public reaction on the money than there's a lot more flaws to the Raiders to winning the Super Bowl. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at the Ravens-Dolphins game coming up on Thursday. Let's see, the Ravens are heading to Miami for their first preseason road game. Miami opened 2.5-point favorite. We now see some threes out there, 3 at even money. The total has come down a little bit from 39.5 to 38 or 38.5. And you got a Baltimore team that just played a perfect game last week against the area rival Redskins, a 23-3 rout. They didn't use quarterback Joe Flacco, who was still out. So you saw Ryan Mallett, Dustin Vaughn, and Josh Woodrum. They all played fairly well. What really stood out was the play of the defense. They got a lot of depth and talent on defense. That is where the strength of the Ravens are. Last week, they came up with 3 sacks and allowed just 39 yards rushing, 2.2 yards per carry. Another thing to keep in mind with Baltimore Ravens is they've had a lot of guys out, a lot of injuries for this camp and for preseason. 7 players are out. John Urschel, he was supposed to be their starting center or compete for the job. He decided to retire right before training camp. They got Darren Waller, who's suspended for a year. So what that means is you've got a lot of guys in the Baltimore camp, a lot of young players, a lot of newcomers who have a chance to make the roster, and that's a payday and a pension down the road. So there's tremendous competition at camp. In addition, you got a coach, John Harbaugh, who has historically done very well, even these in preseason games. However, they're off a couple of disappointing campaigns, 8-8 and 5-11 the last 2 years. So they got kind of a chip on their shoulder. And he likes to win these preseason games. They did last week, and even a year ago, they were a perfect 4-0, winning all 4 preseason games, obviously both on the road. And in those games, they didn't allow 20 points or more in every game. It was 19 or less in every game, and we even saw that last week, holding the Redskins to just 3 points. So it's a good preseason team. It's a good camp as far as competition, and the defense seems to be, well, already in midseason form. Miami Dolphins are the home favorite here. They beat Atlanta in week 1, 23-20, but there are a lot of concerns with this Miami team. The defense was poor last season. They don't have linebackers who are very good in coverage. And even in winning last week's game, they were down 20-10 in the fourth quarter. The offensive line was just awful. Miami had only 60 yards rushing, 2.7 yards per carry against the deep Atlanta Falcons. Their quarterbacks, we're going to see Jay Cutler, David Fales, Matt Moore, and Brandon Doty. And last week, their quarterbacks combined to throw 2 interceptions. So despite the win, it wasn't a very good performance by Miami. And here they are in the role of the home favorite. I would not be looking to Miami in this one, but I do like the under in this one because of the Ravens' history and their defensive talent right now. And I have huge question marks with this Miami Dolphins offensive line, which has been weak to poor in each of the last 3 seasons and was awful last week. All right, if you want to get free picks every day from Las Vegas, from our Vegas experts, just call 888-294-1970. That's a free call on a recorded message. All right, that'll do it for the Wednesday version of Proline. We'll see you back on Thursday where Jim Feist and Dave Cokin will analyze the games. Good luck, everyone.